I just pull. I think I'll hold it. Hello there. Oh, should I move this? There we go. Okay, I'm going to speak a little bit about how I landed up here and my work with children and the way they eat, the way they are being fed. A bit about me, a bit about babies and breastfeeding, formula. Is formula popular in America? Yeah? It's very popular in Sweden as well.
Formula, God forbid.
Exactly, same in Sweden. Today's recommendations, what has happened, what's gone wrong, what food we should be giving our children, the fat, the sugars, and some practical tips. I work with health. It's quite new for me. I've been doing this for about 3-4 years. I follow the LCHF, the low carb, high fat, as we call it in Sweden. And I also work with kids. I'm a very busy person. To get started, I thought, well, considering I work with children, we would do a game. So whatever I say, if that is true to you, could you please stand up? Just have a look around, and then you can sit down. If it's difficult to stand up, you can just raise your hands. Everybody understand? Yeah? If you are a parent, can you stand up? Good, thank you. Grandparents? There's a few. Thank you. Do you sing in a choir? Good. Anybody been to the theatre for since the last 6 months to see a play or a musical or anything? Yeah. Anybody here reckon they drink too much red wine? I'm one of those. Part of the fire. The reason for doing this little game is that now you're focused totally on what I'm saying. Instead of thinking, dinner's going to be in a little while, what am I going to wear? Tonight's the formal evening. So now you're here. And the same with children. If children are given the proper food to eat, they can focus. All the sugars and all the carbs that they eat give us the hyperactive children. Who am I? I'm a bit of a health coach. I give some courses via the internet on low-carb, high-fat eating. I blog. I started to blog 4 years ago. I hadn't even read a blog before that. I went to a lecture by Andreas. We live in the same city, about 5 minutes away from each other. And I'd heard about low-carb, high-fat, and I thought, I'd been eating it for a while, but I'm going to go and listen to his talk, because all the information I had read. I went to his talk, and there were about 500 people there. The majority were overweight, and I just thought, wow, there are so many people that need help. There's so many people that just want the answers. I have to start a blog. I had no idea what to do. I went home that Sunday evening, I think it was the 30th of August, and started a blog. My daughter, she's 15 now, she was about 11, 12. She came home and she said, what are you doing? You're just sitting writing. So I said, I've started a blog. And she said, geez, Mum, you're just way too old. You can't blog. I was like 36. And then she said, has anybody been on your blog? And I said, yeah, it's like 10 people. That day one. I mailed Andreas the next day, and I started my mail with, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one that asked if I can eat too many eggs, because I ate like loads of eggs in the beginning, easily 8 to 10 eggs a day. And then he remembered who I was, and I said, I've started a blog, can you just like have a look at it and what do you think? And the next day he wrote about me on his blog. He has Sweden's biggest health blog. And that day I had loads of visitors on my blog. So when my daughter came home, I was like, are you still blogging? Yes. And then she said, well, how many visitors have you had today? I said, 3,700. And then she was like, wow, that's so cool. Anyway, Andrea said to me, just be aware, the common thing when I write about people that have a lot of visitors the first few days, and then you get a dump, and you're back to your 10, 20 followers. But that didn't happen. It just continued. So now I also have one of Sweden's biggest low-carb blogs. I also am a Montessori teacher. I run a private daycare school, kindergarten, since 1996. I work there full-time as well, except for this month of May, which I'm just traveling, so I'm off. But I work with children. I've been doing so since '93. So I have quite a great experience with kids. I also am an instructor within the Zumba and aerobics step. I used to always work out before. I didn't look like I look today. I was much bigger, and I stood right at the back of each class, and I started to go to the gym when I was 12 because I really needed to lose weight. And I love it. I really love. So it's true what I said. I really enjoy aerobics. Dancing is like, wow. So I did it with pleasure. I could go to the gym 3-4 times a week and do aerobics and dance, and not a gram left my body because of it. I always stood at the back of the class and had the biggest T-shirts on, hid myself. And as I lost weight, I moved more forward into the class, and one of the instructors said to me, "Monique, don't you want to become an instructor?" And I said, "Are you joking? I'm just way too fat to stand in front and instruct," because my head was still in the fat stage. And he said, you really just know what to do. I really think you should become an instructor. They were having auditions for instructors that weekend, and I thought, there's no chance. 20 minutes before the audition on that Sunday, I looked at my watch and I thought, oh, what the hell? I might as well. Why not? And I went to the gym and auditioned, and I got into the course of the education and became an instructor. Really loved it. The gym I worked at, they just about forbid me to talk about low carb because it's not a part of the system. So it's fine that I instruct, and it's fine that I say that they go home and eat after they've been working out. Just don't mention low carb. Now I do it for myself. I have my own company and instruct. So no more gym. I've also just written a book recently. Well, I wrote it a while ago, but it's just come out recently in Sweden. It's the first book in Sweden that is low-carb eating for families, which is even for adults, not only for children. And I'm a mother of 3. My son is 19 soon. I think he's here. He said he was going to come and listen. Yeah, there he is. He's with me on the cruise. My other 2 girls are soon 16 and 8. So how did I land up here? Just to give you, to recall the memory of how I got here. Just so you can remember who Tom was like really being nice to. This is from last year's cruise. And I guess I'm the one with the accent, or am I one with the hair? Whatever, our choice. This is me some years back. I will add, I'm South African. Maybe you heard on my accent. Upstairs earlier at the lunch, I was speaking Swedish to my Swedish friends, and a guy that works upstairs from South Africa came up to me and said, "Are you South African?" And I said, "But I'm speaking Swedish." And he could hear that. I've never, ever had that happen before. That's really impressive. This is me some years back. I've totally been off sugars for 5 years. To the day, the 4th of May, 5 years ago, I had my last cake or sugar or sweet or whatever. I don't touch it. I don't touch sweeteners, nothing that's sweet, because it just doesn't work for me. I'm totally sugar addict. Like an alcoholic, I can't do it. I can't do the sweeteners either. So I don't touch anything that is sweet, even if it's non-sugar. As long as it's sweet, it'll trigger me. So I don't do it at all. I do work out a lot. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's why you lost the weight, because you work out." That's not why I lost the weight. I lost the weight because of the way I eat. I work out because I enjoy it. And it makes me feel good. In Sweden, we have a TV program called Come Dine With Me. I don't know if you have it here. 4 people we don't invite, 4 people have to make supper or dinner for 3 others. And you don't know who's coming, and you don't know what the others are going to make, and you give each other points. And at the end of the week, the one that made the best dinner wins money. And And I was contacted by the TV to ask if I could be a part of this program because I eat low carb, high fat. And I didn't know who the others were, so I thought they were probably also low carbers, but they were not. So I got day one, and not knowing who the others were coming. When they arrived, there was obviously nobody that was a low carber, and it was quite easy for me because I made the dinner, and they all liked my food, so it wasn't a problem. And they were really nice, and I'm a nice person, so I'm not aggressive in any way about the way I eat, but I'm very firm in what I believe, and I'm very firm in what I eat. So I don't do any exceptions. So I warned them all, just so you know, I'm not going to eat your potatoes, and I'm not going to eat this and that. On that Monday evening, my mailbox was just bombarded with hate mail. Hate mail. I think I counted over 300 mails. Because food is feeling. And they are sitting on TV, being very nice, but generally saying, I don't eat carbs because it's not good for me. And then I reckon that people at home get the guilt feeling that, is she saying what I'm doing is wrong? That's not okay. That program that week had the highest, what do you call it, the rate of, yeah, of what people watching ever. Wow. Because it caused so much provocation. After that was like a really fun program. A year ago, I was contacted by a very serious program. Science World is what we would translate the name to, where they asked me to give a course to 8 diabetics on how to change the way they eat. I'm not going to talk about children. I'm getting there. And they wanted to prove, or they wanted to bring up the fact that why is Sweden spending so many millions and billions of money on diabetic medicine instead of just easily, with no costs, teaching them how to eat. It was a really good program, and it was very successful. The 8 diabetics, they'd had diabetes since the 90s. Nobody had ever had a normal blood sugar since they got diabetes. They were all told to eat the carbs as long as they take the insulin. They all had diabetes too. They were with me for a weekend. I made all the food, and I taught them what they have to do. We went shopping together, what labels to look at, where the hidden sugar is. The next day, after 24 hours of low carb, high fat, they took the insulin after eating, and the cameras were on, and they were like, oh, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. They had normal blood sugar after 24 hours. Some of them were crying because they had been going for years and years and years. Half a year later, they filmed the same group again, and almost all of them were off all their medication. There was one guy, he took 30 medicines. One guy, he had 30 medicines due to all the complications, and he's down to 1, and he's 40. So it just shows. Now, children. Ooh. Today's children, we breastfeed them. The most natural thing for a baby to eat is breast milk. 56% energy fat. Also a lot of carbs, because the babies obviously have to grow. I think they double their weight the first year. And then after breastfeeding, generally now I'm talking about how it is in Sweden, because I'm not really sure how it exactly is here, but I think it's very similar. Directly after breastfeeding, they're told by the government that says this is how you should eat, to start drinking low-fat milk, which is generally telling the moms that you're poisoning your children by breastfeeding because it's so high in fat. But now you must give them low-fat. Low-fat milk and margarine. Our body would not produce something that is dangerous for our babies. Our body produces things that are good for them, so they will grow healthy and strong and not get sick later in life. Low-fat milk, fat-free milk. Formula. Let's have a look at formula. My children have also drunk formula. If you look at the ingredients in formula, if you look closely at the ingredients, you don't need to read all this, but you will find maltodextrin. Does everybody know what that is? It's pure sugar. It's like a really fast carbohydrate. That is what bodybuilders take after a heavy workout to give them the energy back. That is what is the main ingredient in Gainer's energy drinks. This is in formula to give our children, and it is also addictive. So children want more and more formula. Read the labels. What really shocked me, and this little baby, is that what I found here is chocolate formula. Did you guys know that exists? No. From 12 months old, you can give your children chocolate formula because they like it even more. I don't know how it here, but in Sweden, formula is used to comfort. It's used when they're going to go to bed at night to make them sleep. It's used during the night when they wake up because they're so addicted they need more, to give them more, a quick drink so the parents can go back to sleep. It's given when parents are going shopping. They have a powder with them, a bottle, shake, and it's done. It's all the time for comfort. It's a quick fix for parents. It's so easy. But what does it do? It really bothers me. Formula is not something we want to give our children at all. What should we give them? Food, exactly. So many people mail me and say, I don't know what to give my child instead of formula. You give them food. You give them what you're eating, or preferably good food. I see that you have this My Plate here, and the first 2 days that Daniel and I were here, we spent shopping. And at the one store, I actually saw that they sold these plates as a plate. And I asked at the shop, like, do people buy this? Yeah, so the parents know how much to put on the plate for the babies. I don't see fat anywhere on these plates. Fat-free, margarine. The dairy, from what I've understood and read here, is that the most dairy that they drink with this plate recommended is a fat-free milk, and then it's a low-fat milk, and then reduced fat milk. And quite far down, it's the normal milk, and even chocolate and strawberry milk. Then we get today's reality. A whole lot of junk food for children that hardly has any nourishment in it whatsoever. Children that are overweight and sitting at home, playing games, eating the wrong things. Small children with diabetes, and diabetes too is really going down in the ages. And children with concentration problems. That is today's reality. This is what they eat. It's common. I mean, when I was small, I also ate that, but it wasn't as often. And the teeth. I mean, the children's teeth these days, loads of children that are 6 years old have holes in their teeth. It's not supposed to be happening. A general snack. A lot of kids need snacks, they want snacks. And of course, when they're eating high-carb food, they need to snack often. And this is what we see that they are getting. Juices and sodas and cool drinks, fruit yogurts. It seems healthy, but it's not. It's full of sugar. Cornflakes. Cornflakes is very common in Sweden for kids as a snack. Muffins and cakes, bread, chocolate milk, and cool drinks. Easily snacks. You see it all the time. Then you get the dinners and the meals that the children are eating. And you might think it's a good meal, but macaroni cheese, I loved macaroni cheese when I was growing up. It's just full of carbs. There's nothing in there that's good for anybody. And not for the kids either. My 7-year-old, she's the one that's been eating low carb since she was born. So she's totally into it. She knows. And when I fetch her at school in Sweden, you know, all food is included in the schools. They get a cooked meal for lunch, and they get snack in the afternoons and breakfast if you need that. When I fetch her from school, she'll say, oh, you know, Mom, today it was sandwiches, so you know I'm going to be hungry. And she's only 8, or she'll be 8. We went shopping the one day, and there was a guy in front of us with his daughter, and he had Fanta and white bread. And my little girl said, Do you know how bad that is for you? I never speak to her about weight. She doesn't know that I've been really fat. I've lost 90 pounds, so just so you know. She doesn't know any of that. I just tell her this is what's good for your body. This is what helps you learn. My other two teenagers, I told Daniel, don't sit next to me and eat on the low-carb cruise. Because he's a junkie. He's a total carb junkie. Sorry, Daniel. But it's the truth. I started too late with them. And they're really addicted. And I don't buy home. I don't buy any foods that are high in carbs. So whatever he eats, he buys himself if he wants the carbs. I refuse. But the one thing that Daniel did say to me at one stage was, as long as you know, Ma, the one day I really need to eat low carb, or I really feel I'm ready to do it, I know all the theory. It's true. Children like fat. I must have seen over thousands of children go through my preschool door. They love fat. They love butter. Obviously, there's exception to the rule. But have you seen children that lick off the butter off sandwiches? Yeah? And I reckon they need it because they eat such low-fat foods generally. That's where they get the energy from. That's what makes them full. And it tastes really nice. Question can be, what fats should we give the children and ourselves? Coconut oil, ghee. Is it ghee or ghee? Yeah, I'm English speaking, I don't even know these words. Avocado, butter. Obviously avoid the oils, and especially sunflower oil with all the omega-6 oils. I give my children omega-3, and in Sweden, the omega-3 that is for children, which there's loads of different kinds, they are all omega-3 and omega-6, and fruit flavors. We obviously want to avoid the omega-6. So then I just always say to people, just buy the adult omega-3. It doesn't hurt them. But on the Swedish boxes, it always says not for children under 12. And I don't know why. Lisa, my little one, she just holds her nose and takes a spoon. It doesn't taste nice, but I mean, she does it. There's so much hidden sugar in the food. Sugar in itself is really easy to distinguish. We know how it looks, we know how it smells, and we know how it tastes. So that's not a problem. But then you get the other sugars. A banana is the equivalent of 4.5 sugar lumps. Jam, in Sweden we eat more pancakes than jam than pancakes and syrup. A spoon of jam is 2 sugar lumps. Fruit yogurt, a portion, which is about a bowl, 8 sugar lumps. A glass of juice, 6. A portion of cornflakes, 3.7. Ketchup, anybody know what a tablespoon of ketchup is? 2.5.
Is that the Swedish ketchup?
Mm.
It's not as sweet.
Oh, is this the American one sweeter? I can imagine.
Cornflakes.
And cornflakes, yeah. I know the cereals are really horrific. A day in the life of a child. Breakfast, not uncommon that they drink a chocolate milk or strawberry milk or any other flavored milk for breakfast. And sandwiches. This is turbo energy. It's not the energy they need, it's turbo. At our schools, they often have a fruit during the mornings at school. More energy. And what do we want our children to do at school? We want them to sit still and to learn and to concentrate. And the teachers are saying that there's never been as many children with hyperactivity problems, ADHD, that there is today. And I just wonder why. Lunch, in the Swedish school, they get a cooked meal. Macaroni is so common. And I know that they say to the children that you can't have more meatballs until you've eaten up your macaroni. So I had to have a meeting with my daughter's school to tell them that we don't want the macaroni. I really wanted to eat the meatballs only. And then as afternoon snack, more energy. But now they may be outside playing, so it works. But it's not the best for them. And then maybe some other snack when they get home, fruit yogurt, muffins, whatever, and then dinner. And then it's time to go to bed after a whole day of turbo energy. And you have a child that doesn't want to go to sleep, can't go to sleep, and is up and about. That's why. And that's why it looks like it does today. I reckon it's worse here than what it is in Sweden, but the rest of the world is just following. It's just a few years behind. Always read the labels. In Sweden, everything is always by 100 grams. So we don't have to work out how much there is. So whatever label you read, it's always generally how much there is in 100 grams. So we have a look at the carbohydrates. And what I usually recommend to parents and even people themselves that want to eat the low carb is have your own borderline of 5 grams. No more than 5 gram carbs per 100 grams. Then you can stick to quite a low carb diet. And then we have something called E621. Does anybody recognize what that is? It's the same. We have all the E numbers in Europe. Glutamate. It's in loads of foods and loads of stuff that our children are eating. In spices, ready-made spices, ready-made foods, cakes, ice cream. It is in so much. And it's used because the food that they have made is so poor and so bad that they have to increase the taste and the flavor to make it taste like it's supposed to taste. And they add glutamate. In Sweden, it's allowed to have glutamate in the foods. It's a continuous debate about the issue, and the government there reckons that, but as long as you eat a little bit, it's okay. But who knows what a little bit is? I mean, some children are eating all their meals every day, fast food, crap, full of glutamate. Headaches, problems sleeping, depression. This is not what we want to give our children. So I always say 2 things to read on the label is the carbohydrates and if there is glutamate in the food. If there's 2 things to avoid, that's it. Other things to think about are the colors. Here in America, there are really extremely lot of colorants in the foods and the candy and the sodas. Here they use red 40 as a colorant. And according to the Food and Drug Administration, it has potential cancer-causing chemicals. It causes hyperactivity and loads of allergies. Fanta strawberry is full of it. In the UK, they have stopped that, and they use natural colorants from strawberries instead. There's a huge difference. This is from the other day when we were at a fast food, the Jack in the Box. Daniel and I went there, and I wanted to buy some water. And I said to the girl at the restaurant, do you have sparkling water? And she said, what is that? Water with bubbles? Carbonized water? I'm really trying to explain myself so she would understand. And she's like, no, we don't have it. Do you have just water? Any water? And she said, I can't believe it. Nobody has ever ordered water before. Can you believe it? And then when we were walking along, she called me back and said, oh, actually, I remember when I started to work here many years ago, there is a button on the machine that I think is water. And it is. First she said, oh, because I said soda water. And then she said, oh, yes, we have lots of soda water. And she pointed at this machine. And I said, but I want with no sugar. Oh, no, all our water has sugar. Anyway, and then we saw this Fanta. And then I really understood the colorants of the Fanta orange. Breakfast tips. People are always asking me, what am I going to give the children instead of the formula and instead of sandwiches and cereals? What do I give them? This is one of my closest friends in London. She has a little boy. He's 2 now. She started much later than me. She's totally not interested in low carb whatsoever. And she thinks that I'm just a miserable I can't think of the word. Anyway, she just thinks that I'm really losing out because I don't eat chocolate cake. So we don't even discuss food anymore. I was visiting her a year ago, and her child was eating chocolate mousse. He was not even a year old. Chocolate mousse from one of those children bottles. And he was continuously crying. The week I was there, he was just moody and crying the whole time. And she said, all I do is feed this child. I'm so tired of feeding my child. And the one day I said to her, Chantal, go out and do something, and I'll look after him for you. And as soon as she left, I made omelette with lots of butter. And he just ate and ate and ate. And when she got home, a few hours later, he was still satisfied. And she's like, what have you done with him? He's never this satisfied. I said, you have to change the way he's eating. She says that she still gives him omelette for breakfast. But for daycare, when he goes to preschool, he has chips and raisins and a sandwich. It doesn't help. Eggs are great. Eggs contain absolutely everything you need except vitamin C. I mean, eggs is like such a boost of nutrition. In the beginning of my low-carb days, we would eat like 100 eggs a week in the family. All of us are a bit tired of eggs at the moment, so we've really pulled down on the amount. But egg is really, you can do so much with it. And you can make it fun. A hot omelette, scrambled eggs, whatever. Cheese and butter, we call them cheese and butter rolls. You take a slice of cheese and you just put a blob of butter in it and you eat it. And it's really good. It's really good. Has anybody done that? Yeah, great. It's so filling. If you do that, you eat 3 or 4 of those and you'll be full for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. I promise. And at my preschool, we're not a low-carb preschool, but almost. We have really good food for the kids, and we try to have everything organic. But when there's a lunch that I don't eat, then I'll have this. And the kids are always saying, oh, Monique, can't we also have some butter rolls, cheese rolls? There is such a difference on the children when they're eating the high-fat food. Same here, omelette. You can just add coconut or cinnamon to get it a different flavor and make it into a pancake with cream and berries. Perfect for kids. And smoothies. We eat a lot of cream with the low-carb, high-fat. And there is cream on the ship. You just have to insist. It's like Andrea said this morning, if Monique's here, she won't give up until she gets her cream. I think it took 20 minutes, but at last, they ran down to the kitchen downstairs here and got cream. So there is heavy cream. You have to ask the people in the white shirts. They know. That's what she said to me anyway, the supervisors on the floor. At the preschool, we've been eating good food and healthy food for about 2 years, when we took away all the fruit yogurts and all the cereals and all the other milk and juices. There's a total difference in the group with the children. We have 24 children, and I can't even describe. I mean, the fighting and the mood dips and the whining and I'm hungry and what are we going to do? Gone. They are full and they are happy and they're satisfied. And it's a calm group of kids. They play like they're supposed to play. They're not in each other's hair. There is a big difference. Not all the parents are into this. We don't talk very loudly about it. The one parent came the other day and said to me, we need to talk to you. We hear that our child is eating cheese and butter rolls. And that's not okay. Rather than he'll eat 5 sandwiches than he eats that. And their child is really somebody that needs to eat this. And then I just said, that's fine, because it's up to you, it's your child, and if that's what you want, we will serve that. But it doesn't mean we're going to stop serving the others. But I'll just have to tell your child that you're not allowed to have this, because this is what Mommy and Daddy say. And then they thought I was like, oh, no, I don't know. Well, just try and make it like 1 or 2. So I have to have like extra butter. And then it's dinner. What should we give them for dinner? It's not difficult. It's not difficult to take away the potato, rice, and the pasta and the sandwiches. You just add whatever else. Broccoli, mashed broccoli. You cook broccoli in cream or cauliflower and cream and you mash it. It tastes excellent. Lots of butter with that. Avocado. I mean, they get so full, the children. My time is getting up, so I have to rush through. Snack time, the same thing. Anything to do with eggs, cheese, berries, cream, butter. Something that will make them satisfied in a quick, short time. One of the other things we also discussed at the school with the parents was birthdays. What do we do when the children have a birthday? Because celebration is food, right? You go to somebody's house for dinner and you have chocolate with you. You're going to give away a present to somebody, it's chocolates. A child that's been very good, let's go out and have ice cream, you've been so good today. Celebration and treating children is often about food. So the parents, they were like, oh no, are we going to take away the ice cream when they have a birthday? And we said, you know, that year when we decided that, it was, we said in February, out of our 24 children, 17 have a birthday in February. That's like ice cream every day for that month. That's not what we want, and it's not what you should want for your children. So it's better that you as parents give them what you think it's okay, and then you know what they're getting. And we'll just skip that part. What are we going to do? How are we going to celebrate them then? Why do you need to celebrate with food? Right? It's enough that they have a crown on their head, we put the flag up, they have a flag at the table, they get a present, we sing. That is celebration. We don't have a child ever that has asked us, why don't we eat ice cream because it's my birthday? Because they don't need it. It's not their needs. It's the parents that think that is what they need. And it's up to the parents to make the decisions on what the children eat. Picnic time, the same. My little one, this is her typical picnic, and sausages. I always send with sausages. And in the beginning, she said to me, Ma, I don't want sausages because it's embarrassing because nobody else has sausages. They all have fruit and sandwiches. And I said, but Lisa, you know, I really want you to eat sausage instead. It's better for you. And then a few weeks later, she came home and said, Ma, I really need to have 5 sausages with me. I said, 5? You can't be that hungry. No, but everybody else also wants. So, and now there are a few of them in the class that have sausages with instead of fruit. My book, the little baby, I must say it's Andrea's little baby, Clara. She's a bit bigger now. It seems to be a success in Sweden so far. It's negotiations with South Africa and Random House Publishing to get it done in English. So we're in the middle of all that at the moment. It has great photos. Yeah, that's about time. And one other thing. I'm glad you're coming up, Jimmy, because I just drew your number. Number 1.
You drew my number?
I drew your number. So I have a book for you.
Ah.
I mean, thank you. Jimmy almost knows Swedish. And you know how to Google...
Hello.
Google.
Is that good? Hello.
Hello.
So how you say hello?
Hello.
Hi. Hey.
Hello, hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Yo.
Great, thanks. And don't forget, there is Zumba tomorrow, and it is great fun, and it gives you such a smile. So please come and enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then you don't need to be a part of it next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monique.
Thanks for watching highlights from the 2012 Low Carb Cruise.